Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a massive viral rumor and the actual copyright lawsuit claiming Miley Cyrus's smash hit Flowers is a musical copy of Bruno Mars's 2013 classic When I Was Your Man. If you've been anywhere near a radio, a streaming app, or even just a grocery store lately, you've heard these tracks. And you've definitely heard the chatter. But today, we're looking way past the internet gossip. We are diving straight into the actual music theory to see what is literally going on beneath the surface of these two songs. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The pop music lawsuit. 2. The lyrical illusion. 3. Comparing the tempos. 4. Different chord progressions. And 5. A tale of two songs. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The pop music lawsuit. A viral claim goes to court. So we've got to ask the multi-million-dollar question that sparked the lawsuit by Tempo Music Investments against Miley Cyrus. Tempo Music, which actually owns a share of the copyright to When I Was Your Man, filed a suit alleging that Flowers is an unauthorized derivative work. Now, it's really important to note that Bruno Mars himself isn't actually named as a plaintiff here, but this legal challenge has definitely forced everyone to ask, did Miley actually copy the song?
The lawsuit specifically alleges that Flowers duplicates melodic pitch design, bass lines, and specific chord progressions. It's a pretty heavy accusation. On the flip side, Cyrus's legal team has firmly countered these claims, filing for dismissal. They argue that these similarities are simply common musical building blocks. You know, the basic tools of songwriting that no single artist can legally own. Section 2. The lyrical illusion, thematic flip versus musical copy. This brilliantly illustrates how Flowers flips a narrative of regret entirely on its head, turning it into an absolute anthem of self-empowerment. When Mars sings, "I should have bought you flowers and held your hand," Cyrus responds directly with, "I can buy myself flowers and I can hold my own hand." She's essentially telling us and him she's doing just fine on her own. Because of this, it makes us subconsciously assume the music matches the lyrical homage. Our brains immediately connect those themes, and suddenly, we trick ourselves into thinking we're listening to the exact same song.
But there's actually a specific term for this in the industry. It's called an answer song. This is part of a long, rich pop music tradition where one artist directly responds to the narrative of another. But here is the absolutely critical distinction we need to make. Sharing a lyrical theme or responding to a previous song's story does not mean they share the same underlying musical skeleton. To prove a copyright violation, you need a whole lot more than just a really clever lyrical comeback.
Section 3. Comparing the tempos, the heartbeat of the music. Think of tempo as a song's literal speedometer. It dictates whether a track feels like a slow, emotional walk or an energetic, driving pulse. It is the absolute foundation of a track's groove and its genre. Generally speaking, if two songs are structurally identical, they are going to share a very similar heartbeat. So, let's look at the numbers. Bruno Mars's track sits at a really slow, reflective 73 beats per minute. It functions entirely as a stripped-back, melancholy piano ballad. There is no heavy drum kit pushing you to the dance floor here. It's deliberately designed to give you the space to feel the deep regret in his vocals. It's intimate, it's vulnerable, and it's pacing very slowly. But then, look at Miley's track. It revs all the way up to a driving 118 beats per minute. It utilizes what we call a 4-on-the-floor kick drum to create a super energetic disco funk groove. That means the kick drum is hitting hard on every single beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's constantly propelling you forward. Musically speaking, a slow 73 BPM ballad and a fast 118 BPM disco pop anthem are operating in totally different rhythmic universes.
Section 4. Different chord progressions, the architectural blueprint.
Moving past the speed, we have to look at the chords. A chord progression is essentially the architectural map of a song. Now, both of these songs do start with the exact same gloomy A minor chord, but honestly, so do tens of thousands of other sad pop songs. What matters is where they go next. This comparison shows how rapidly their paths diverge. Flowers moves from A minor straight to D minor to G and then to C. But When I Was Your Man, it goes from A minor immediately to C, then D minor, and takes a much longer, wildly different route. Put simply, Cyrus's song relies on a tight, repeating loop. It just plays those same 4 chords over and over again, which is super typical of modern dance pop. It creates this hypnotic, steady groove. It's a circle you dance to. But Mars's track, it takes a much longer, complex, and traditional piano ballad journey. His chords are constantly shifting and evolving to match the rising emotion of his voice. It's a winding road you walk down. Structurally, the blueprints just aren't the same.
Section 5. A Tale of Two Songs. Homage versus Derivative. When you put the raw sheet music side by side, it's absolutely wild how different they are. Their structural bones belong to completely different sonic universes. We have a 118 BPM disco funk track built on a repeating 4-chord loop, standing right next to a 73 BPM traditional piano ballad with a linear, highly complex chord structure. The vibe might feel connected to us because of the clever lyrics, but the sheet music tells a completely different story. These are two wholly independent songs.
And we don't just have to take my word for it. As the music theory experts over at Billboard point out, paying lyrical homage to a specific feeling is a completely different act than copying sonic architecture. There's no sample used here, there's no direct melodic interpolation. The actual foundational musical DNA, the tempo, the chords, the rhythm, is 100% unique to Miley's track. So we want to leave you with this final thought to take away today. Just because a song answers a famous question, does that actually mean it stole the microphone? Flowers clearly speaks directly to When I Was Your Man, engaging in this fantastic, iconic pop culture conversation. But as we've seen today, talking back to a song's lyrics is very, very different from copying its musical DNA. Definitely keep an ear out for those tempos and chord loops the next time you listen. Thanks for joining this explainer, and keep staying curious.